What's up, kids? How are we looking?
What's up, everybody? That was absolutely planned. It was totally planned. That
We totally planned the entire thing. Oh, and now it's a delay on the actual thing.
Oh, God.
What's going on, kids? How are we doing? Welcome to the very first episode of the Millennials Are Mad podcast. I am Grim, and
I'm Ham.
Some of you are here because you already know who we are. Some of you don't. We are content creators on TikTok, Instagram, basically any freaking social media platform, mostly political things, sometimes pop culture things, all that good stuff. Ham is low. Hold on, let's see.
No, I'm not.
Not even a little bit.
I'm the opposite of low.
Well, let's see how many we got going on here.
Does that sound better? Do I sound better to you all?
I hear you just fine. We're still figuring this shit out. No, my sunglasses are not permanently attached. A lot of the filming I do is in my garage, and it's 118 degrees outside every day in Texas. So I started doing it in my car, so I have some AC. But I got this little setup now specifically for this. But now I'm probably going to start doing my content in here as well.
And thank God, because he was starting to get really sweaty in those videos.
Dude, every time you can see it, I'm just glistening in all the damn videos.
I don't know how you do that in that level of heat and talk that fast.
Dude, I'm a lizard person. For some reason,
heat doesn't really bother me. Any of it.
Yeah, Let's see. I'm just going through the chat here.
We got 23 on the YouTube side.
23 on the YouTube side. Let's check Twitch real quick. Yeah, got 7 on Twitch. Let's fucking go.
Right. That's around 30.
That's a pretty decent little fucking turnout here. Well, how are you guys doing? Let's say what's up in the chat.
Yes, I did remember my chicken backpack.
What the fuck?
I gotta send you this video, dude. So we're live on most nights, pretty much every night on TikTok,
right.
And we'll be live after this, probably doing a little after party hangout thing.
Sure.
Twista Crystal in the chat sends the most unhinged videos into Discord, and I'm pretty sure most of the time, if not every time, it's just to see what kind of faces I make. And there was one with a chicken that had an extra set of legs, and it looked like it was a chicken wearing a chicken backpack. And that was just my not low reaction to it. I just that was my first reaction. I typed into the chat chicken backpack, and now chicken backpack exists.
Is a whole damn thing. Cackpack? What the hell is that? Kinetic cutie, that's adorable. I like that. I'm gonna start calling you that from now on.
Genetic cutie?
Kinetic cutie.
Kinetic cutie?
Yeah.
Who said this? Kinetic. I see it up there.
Yep.
Me too, martyr. I think I read that right.
I mean, I guess so.
What are all you goobers doing out there? Let's get this show on the road.
We're gonna get the show on the road. All right, kids. Well, if you have seen any of the promo videos that myself or Ham have done, you know what and of course the title on the stream as well. Today we are going to be covering the modern white nationalist movement, or your white supremacy groups. Because basically how it kind of piqued my interest was, very recent when Patriot Front marched on Washington, essentially. And, everybody that I had seen in our, neck of the woods, we're making fun of it and, showing how a bunch of fucking, just cowards and little bitches they really are. But then I started seeing the other side where they're basically defending it. Well, at least it's a peaceful protest and no. And I'm like, okay, I thought we lived in a country where we don't fucking like Nazis. Just
didn't somebody die at Charlottesville?
Yeah, somebody got ran down with a car. So
by a white supremacist.
Yeah, by one. Yeah, because it was at the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, and at the time, Patriot Front did not exist. It was actually something called American Vanguard. Similar ideals, similar.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but right after that, Tommy Russo started Patriot Front and basically splintered off of that and started doing that shit. Because one thing that I've noticed is, you see a lot of people on the left protesting and doing demonstrations and things like that. And you don't necessarily see a lot of it on the right. But when Patriot Front popped up, a lot of it was like, okay, and people are defending it. I'm just like, okay, I need to look at their recruiting tactic, like what they do now, because they're not just rolling down the street in white robes and white hoods anymore. They're not. I mean, unless you're the what is called the Blood Tribe, you're not even throwing out waving flags with swastikas on it or anything like
Right.
that. So I'm just like, okay, so they're not as blatant as they used to be. And I've always known that the right really were the first ones to start taking over online spaces to get their propaganda out there. It's been like that with the 4chan shit, Gamergate, everything like that. You know what I mean? They have had the online space on lock for a very, very long time. And a lot of things, with that, with, Patriot Front wearing their khakis and whatnot. Either way, I'll kind of get into it. So with these white supremacist groups, now, Ham, I remember in one of the promos you were talking about the Proud Boys, and that is technically not a white supremacist group. That is just a far right movement.
Fair. Fair
That
point. Also,
so
it's very quickly pointed out to me that it's because the guy, well, it was like Enrique Tarrio, and like now it's like the guy that runs it's a black dude. How can it be a white supremacist? Which is
right.
Also misses the point, but
I mean, right.
It can
So,
be, but I recognize fully that it's more extreme right than white supremacist. But it
well,
is
so
adjacent.
in things like like the Proud Boys, the fucking even the Groypers for that matter, they're not necessarily necessarily against people of color being in their space or anything like that. But basically, anybody on the left, they're going to treat you like, say, the KKK would treat a black person. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's kind of what their whole big thing is. But with these white nationalist movement who want, that big utopia where it's just white people have one big race war and, basically, from the ashes, because a lot of them are accelerationists. So they're looking at any way to make things worse so we can topple down as a society so they can rebuild their white utopia from the ashes. But I really wanted to dig deep into what their recruiting tactics are, because I mean, coming up as well, like I've always been fascinated by cults, and this is very much a cult mentality situation. So they're not as overt as they used to be. A lot of them will do online communities, and there'll be splinters because there's not really that many unified white supremacist groups anymore outside of, say, Patriot Front, outside of, say, the Blood Tribe, outside of, say, the KKK, things like that.
Right.
A lot of them are what I like to call basically, fascist franchises. So essentially they'll have their own little nook, but they will fly under the same banner more than anything. So like Patriot Front, for example, they formed right after Charlottesville, after protesters got run down with that car, killing one of them. He basically wanted to completely separate himself from that, and that's kind of what a lot of these do now. Instead of doing the shaved heads, the armbands, the white hoods, the whatever, now they're dressing up in khakis and polos and adopting a little bit more of a clean cut approach.
You're so clean.
Well, I mean, because a lot of it is the goal is to be appealing but benign.
Oh yeah.
So
perception is everything.
Right. So a lot of these online spaces, how they put out their propaganda is a lot of the ironic memes, like, oh, it's just jokes, dude, just jokes. But really, no, it's basically planting that seed in somebody who would be susceptible to, say, that kind of movement. It plants that seed, and then it just goes from there. And they will never straight up tell you that they're a white supremacist group unless they go out and do it like Patriot Front does.
Yeah.
But a lot of these other groups, what they'll do is they'll market it as just like an online community. Are you tired of people attacking Western civilization? Are you tired of, this, illegals coming into this country, taking all the jobs, voting in your elections, things like that? They highlight grievances more than they do ideology. They don't just hit you over the head with that, because the kids nowadays, they don't want to be hit over the head with a bunch of random shit.
Of course. Right. Well, and they've learned, I mean, considering the foundation of the country and how it was founded on, right, even if it wasn't white supremacy as we know it today, it was founded on those same principles, right? Like white
Yep.
Christian landowning men
Right.
were the ones who did the things, the people with money. And the fact that everything has evolved since then, with all of those same systems and functions and beliefs in place, and even codified into law, they've learned over, you know, we had the civil rights movement, we've had all these big things happen. They've learned over all these decades to change their tactics, their methods of delivery. So you can't just come right out, because nobody, I mean, even look at every right winger you have a conversation with. The last thing in the world that they want to be called is racist. And if you call them racist, they're like, whoa, what? I know a black guy. What do you mean I'm racist?
Oh yeah. No, I got a color TV. Like, yeah.
Right. No. It's ridiculous. They just learned how to change their messaging. That's all.
Right. Exactly. They just basically kind of, I mean, while they've always kind of worked in the shadows, you know, unless it was during the civil rights era, you know, all the way back to the Civil War era and all that kind of shit. But they operate, a lot of them are just unaffiliated networks that fly, like I said, the little fascist franchises. They'll congregate in places like private servers a lot of the time. They'll start out with like, say, a WhatsApp, a Signal chat, for example,
Telegram.
Even that, a Telegram with, you know, which is funny how, you know, House of Klaus Hegseth and everybody use the damn Signal chats and whatnot. And I
don't think that's any coincidence.
No, not by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, this entire administration is basically going, I mean, they're going from the Project 2025 handbook, but essentially which is essentially, in my opinion, a fucking white supremacist handbook to just how do you implement more systemic inequality and do it in a way that looks completely benign, looks like it's business as usual, look like it's, you know, we're not bad guys. We're just tired of this. We're just tired of that. We're just, you know, all this kind of stuff. Because they'll go with traditional values, attack on Western civilization. You're poor because the darker people are taking your shit.
Taking your money, taking your jobs, doing all the things.
Yeah, a lot of it, like I said, they'll present their grievances first and have a space for people to feel safe to be able to say some of the most vile shit they possibly can due to those grievances. And it isn't until they suck you in a little bit further, not unlike, say, flirty fishing in cults and whatnot, then they'll start beating the ideology over your head. If they see that you're like, if you're in, you know what I mean? If there's
they got to draw you in close first.
Right. So basically, they'll get you in the door with the grievances. And if they see that you are a little bit more in tune with their ideals, that's when they'll start, you know, basically just hitting you over the head with the ideology part.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, it's very cult. It's very cult mentality. It's, I mean, essentially. I mean, granted, I guess you can call any group of people, any community, somewhat cultish, but it really depends on, I guess, whatever.
I mean, even the Star Trek community is no stranger to that shit. I mean, there's, you know, every community that is very, very passionate about their beliefs, whatever they may be, can very easily be described as a cult. But even with that, I think there's something different about all this shit, man. Like the idea that mind your business, don't worry about what's happening behind his hand. The idea that like you know, the messaging change, like we were just talking about that. There is, I mean, if you think about who controls media and how all this shit works, like the idea that they change their messaging over the course of, you know, however many decades, and to be able to fit into these circles, they draw you in close, and then all of a sudden it's let me tell you how I really feel now that no one's around, now that I don't have to look over my shoulder to see who might be standing behind me or next to me. And that's how they do that shit. That's how they became a part. That's how their ideas have somehow become a part of mainstream discussion, as if they're worthy of discussing at all.
Right. That's a big thing too, is, and a lot of people, like, one of the main things, a lot of people, their argument for, say, Patriot Front doing their quote unquote peaceful protest is, you know, they got freedom of speech. Last I checked, and this could just be an opinion of mine, or, you know, at least people on the left or whatever. I'm sorry, Nazis don't get free speech.
No.
Nazis aren't in. Nazis are not considered citizens of the United States to me, like, by any stretch of the imagination.
I don't understand when it became so, like, no, it's cool. It's just like, we just have differing opinions. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah.
There's nothing like, if somebody that believes that any other group of people, and we could fucking run the gamut on that one, and somebody that believes that any other group of people shouldn't exist or shouldn't have rights or shouldn't be allowed to do something, or I mean, fuck, even down to reading books to kids. That's where we've gotten to, and
Right.
somehow these ideas are acceptable. Somehow these ideas are like, oh, let's get on fucking Jubilee and surround you with 20 people who are gonna act like your ideas are normal, and then everyone's gonna walk away believing the same exact fucking thing. Everybody
Right.
in the audience walks away believing the same fucking thing they did when they went in there. But there's no point that someone says, actually, no, we're not going to talk about what you believe the world should be, or how you believe black and brown people should be treated, how you believe whether or not you believe a country should exist. It's fucking insane to me that that's allowed, as if it's valuable discussion. It doesn't help anything, or anyone for that matter.
Right. I mean, and a lot of the times too, people have their biases that they're going to just keep, and that was one thing that it falls into the whole. If I believe, if you have a soul and you have a damn brain, like the phrase "normalize changing your mind based on new information" hits really hard. But people don't do that because they're just staunchly in there, and that's a big thing about the right. If there's one thing I've noticed about growing up with a family who basically were, are, I mean, some of them still are on the right, they're some of the most stubborn sons of bitches I have ever seen. It's very difficult to even, unless you, I mean, and even then, like I was going to say, unless you show them like straight up evidence, if they have, a decent head on their shoulders for the most part, they're just a bit misguided. They'll look at that and be like, oh, fuck that. No, absolutely not. But a lot of these now, you can show them. I mean, this. I mean, we stitch people on the right all the damn time. We stitch all these people all the time, and we show them blatant fucking evidence to their face, and they still will have some kind of argument against it. It drives me up.
The fucked up thing is, and the thing that gets me is that it's not even a good argument. It's not even. No. I mean, even the video that gets stitched or whatever, like even these little clapbacks and all that shit. The initial video already is one that, like, I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking about? And then I do a response to the video, and I used to do this a lot more, where I aired a bit more on the educational side than angry.
Right.
And now it's mostly just a clever fuck you in some way. But like the idea that, these arguments are founded in or based in reality, and then you get the response back from your clapback, and what it amounts to is the argument of an 8-year-old. Nuh-uh.
Yep. Or they'll just have their fucking gaggle of followers just swarm your account and just talk a bunch of shit.
Yeah, that's and what every one of them says the most. Why do they all insult people like they're still in like middle school? You know what I mean? Like all of the. I bet you live in your mom's basement. I don't, though.
You live in your mom's basement. You live in your mom's basement. Your boyfriend's here, or some kind of variation of that. It's the same shit. Like the what's his name? The one that I called Vanilla Lice. One thing I did tell him. One thing I did say in one of my deals, like, man, if we were a couple of third graders on the schoolyard, I'd be so mad.
Oh man,
that stupid shit you'd say.
It's so fucking stupid. It's so stupid. And the funniest comment I get still is, and it doesn't happen on TikTok or anywhere else. It's only on like Facebook and Instagram. Instagram, it still lives. But the comments there, the septum ring theory.
Yeah, that shit drives me nuts too. The blue hair, the septum ring.
That joke would have been played out by now. But what is arguably even more accurate is Bible quote theory.
Yep.
Check the fucking bio, or even their handle. If they have a cross in their handle or anything in their bio that references a Bible passage.
Nowadays, it's bacon
a quote or just
now it's the bacon emoji because they're against Muslims now. It's like they'll put the bacon there just to signify that they're against any kind of Islam-related group of people.
It's so fucking stupid.
It's like, it's seriously, every time that fucker got that air, like every time that fucker's in office, all of a sudden it's 2001 again. All of a sudden it's like the Islamophobia, whatnot, which back then, yeah, I mean, you and I both watched 9/11 fucking right there, and you were closer to it.
I got pulled out of school. It was wild.
Right. And it's like, I understood the fear back then. Obviously, granted we were what in high school. We were what ninth grade, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, it was freshman year.
Freshman year, yeah. And so, you kind of go with what your parents tell you because I mean, back then even like nothing in schools was necessarily presented in some kind of ideological form or anything like that. A lot of it was very matter of fact, like 9/11 happened. They're like, well, these people did this, and this is why they did this. But if you want to look into it more, you can. But back then, even while the internet was widely available, it wasn't the internet it is today where you could
No.
just pop in Google and boom, 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 and look up everything you need to know about it.
Although, I mean, it was I don't think it was quite as complete an encyclopedia, obviously, as it is
No.
now. But the internet, I mean, fuck, I had a conversation with I think it was my mother not long ago, where we were talking about. She goes, "Do you know that there's fucking people dressing up as ladies on the internet to try to trick people into thinking they're women?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, are you new? What the fuck? What do you mean?" She was like, "What are you saying to me right now?" And I was like, that's been a thing since the internet.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, that's the rule. Like anything that you could possibly think of is probably been on the internet. Like that was
Yeah.
I forget what the name of the rule or what the name of the rule is, but it's like the same thing. If you can think it's like it can be made into a porn, it probably already is.
Rule 34.
Rule 34. There it is.
Rule 34 of the internet. If it exists, it can be made. It does, and it exists as porn.
Right. 100 fucking percent.
That's the thing is like it blew my mind. And this is like this is the shit that we're up against is an older generation. And I don't mean any disrespect to people. I'm about to be 40, so get off me. The older generation of people that like we're the last ones to grow up with the internet. We grew up when it was brand new, right? Like I was aware that there were dudes dressing up as ladies on the internet at 12.
Yeah, because we're sneaking into the fucking computer room at like, 3 o'clock
in the
morning.
What was it? Like fucking rotten.com and all these crazy ass websites. Like the internet has been an insane dumpster fire since it became a thing.
Right.
And now I feel like it's so weird to see the different phases it's gone through. And I think that's a lot of why we deal with a lot of the white supremacy issue that we do is like the algorithms, right? Like social media in general.
Right.
That's a relatively new concept, right? That didn't exist. Well, we had the earliest we had was MySpace, right? Social media.
Yeah. Well, MySpace, Friendster, I want to say.
Friendster, yeah.
Yeah. I think.
But like even then, that was fucking way back. Yeah. 2008, 2007, 2008, somewhere around there.
No. So like with
was
like
even before that.
So MySpace and Friendster were around, I want to say, since like 2000 on. Because Facebook started in like 2004, I want to say. And that was back when it was like you had to have a college email to have a Facebook.
Yeah, you had to have and it was only specific universities that had it.
Exactly. So I've had my Facebook, my personal one, since 2005. Because I had already, luckily they accepted community college emails back in the day. So
yeah, as long as it had edu after it, they were fine.
Yeah, you were good to go. But then it wasn't until they opened it up to everybody because MySpace opened it up to everybody. And it was, that was when like 2006, 7, 8, that's when MySpace was like going up and it was at its peak. And that was when Facebook decided, you know what, let's just open it up to everybody.
That was when telling somebody that or somebody finding out, because you wouldn't tell them, you'd just do it. Somebody finding out that they were removed from your top friends was like a devastating blow.
Oh, dude, yeah, that ended friendship. I'd never had a situation where it would end friendships if I changed my top 8 or whatever the hell. But I do know that there were people that straight up would like, I'd be having a conversation and they were talking about how they were so pissed off that their friend took them off the top 8.
Oh yeah,
like,
that was a
showstopper. And I didn't think it was like take me off top 8 bad. I thought it was whatever. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And then they extended it to like a top 16 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But
I think that's the other thing though, is like social media is like that's something that is exclusively a millennial thing, right? Like that's our thing.
Yep.
And having grown up with all, like, even I saw some folks in the chat mentioning fucking AIM and like ICQ chat and like all these different programs that were AIM is I think is the more prevalent one for everybody. Like everybody remembers AIM.
Oh yeah,
And
because
like
that was the only internet you can get.
coming up through that, back before the days of mind your business, back before the days of the internet and social media and people posting, like even fucking MySpace, it was dumbass pictures and like, this is what I'm up to. And then you take a picture from up here for some goddamn reason.
Oh,
And the you didn't get the news on MySpace. You didn't get informative, like value-based posting on MySpace. It was a shit post place. Like everybody just posted garbage and pictures of their food.
That's what like 4chan and shit was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those are where like and like I was explaining before with the white nationalist groups and whatnot, the online communities is they got their start on like things like 4chan, on message boards where they have a safe space to use the N-word and nobody fucking treats them like they should be treated, essentially.
Well, and that's kind of what I was getting at, is the back in those days, right? You got information from the news. We had publishers, journalists, newspapers, all of these, they were the gatekeepers of what was considered okay in the public sphere. And we lost that with social media. And there's a lot of people like, social media ruined everything. It didn't ruin everything. You just didn't used to know what every Tom, Chuck, and Larry around you thought about every goddamn thing that's happening in the fucking world. You had no way of knowing that the people in your life, for better or worse, were shitbags. You had no way of knowing that. But now everybody has to announce their shit because social media is the way that everybody does everything. So I think it's I talked about this in one of my recent videos. Like the pursuit of knowledge is worthy, but like it's a worthy cause. But the ability to discern, and then like you have to be able to understand what it is you're reading and understand what it means when something comes from a specific kind of a source and what they might be actually trying to tell you, who they're being funded by. All of those things are important.
Media literacy.
And for our generation, that's something, exactly, basic media literacy. For our generation, that's something we had to have because we grew up with these platforms and modes of communication and all that stuff becoming more and more an increasingly large part of our lives, literally by the day. So you had to keep up. You had to understand all this stuff. The folks that are running the fucking country, the older generations, they don't understand that. There's a whole, because they're used to seeing fucking Tom Brokaw or whoever on the news, and he's going to give you the facts and he's going to tell you like it is, and then you're going to go talk maybe to somebody about it, but probably not family, because we don't talk politics with family. All of that's out the fucking window now.
100%. And like that was the thing too, with the expansion of social media to the point where it's like all we do as a society. Like it not only did it expand, it just expanded people being able to present themselves as like an end all be all source of what's going on, what's really going on, conspiracy theories, all that shit. Because I mean, like again, back to 4chan, that's where Pizzagate happened. That's where Gamergate happened. And I mean, if you want to go down conspiracies, like I think we've talked about this before. But there's like this thing that in the files that possibly could, make things a little bit more clear. Like, so for example, Maxwell was a Reddit mod and good old Jeff was a 4chan mod. And essentially they're saying that it's quite possible that they use those respective things, those respective, I guess, permissions
of power, as it were,
to essentially start driving division, start driving,
of course.
She would be on the left and he would be on the right in 4chan, and they would basically just turn like Pizzagate was probably a thing. QAnon was probably a thing from him. He was the one he might be Q himself.
That shit ruined at least a year of my life.
Dude,
absolutely ruined my whole relationship with my family.
The last 10 fucking years, dude. Last 10 years, it's still kind of going. I mean, hell, now it's gotten to the point where the goddamn White House is like putting out Q language and Q.
Well, that was the initial skid, was like the QAnon stuff. That was where, like, that was when I noticed everything was getting off the rails. Like there was some wild shit, like even like the Wayfair thing and I mean, there was no shortage of nonsense being said. And I mean, even I was talking to Randy recently, and like commiserated about this over a little bit. Like the kitty litter, the litter boxes in classrooms.
Oh, dude.
That will send me off a fucking ledge immediately.
Well,
Immediately.
it's them going to school and coming back
said.
transition. Like, that shit pisses me off too. Like, they'll go to school and they'll come, your little boy's going to come home a girl.
Trans. What the fuck?
Like, it makes no fucking sense. Like, who does, like, I'm sorry, even in the damn, Bible Belt, none of that shit is even really, I mean, unless you're, stuck in the Fox News, far right message boards and all that shit where they can present all that. That shit is not happening in the bluest state. It's not happening, period. And the more you can say that all day. And that's the bitch about that too, is like the whole, like, you can say that it's not happening, but they'll go, well, I guarantee you it's happening, but you can't show them.
Not only that, some of these motherfuckers will literally be like, there's a school right down the road that I know for a fact has litter boxes in the classroom. Like, really? A, why are you in a children's classroom? Why? B, what, you didn't, that no, you know for a fact, and you saw this litter box and you didn't take any pictures?
That's, exactly. Nothing? And the only time, the only time you should be in your child's fucking classroom during the school year is like for open house or a parent-teacher conference.
Right.
Or something like that. And even if they did have litter boxes in there, I guarantee you they would have hid them and they wouldn't have it just sit there out in the open. That makes no fucking sense. Like, it makes no fucking sense to me.
I couldn't imagine. Like, the idea that some kid would get up in the middle of class, this little ass kid, and just be like, Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so, I have to go to the bathroom. And the teacher's just like, yeah, right there in the corner.
Yeah.
That's my worst nightmare.
That seems like more first off, teachers are already underpaid, having to do a million fucking things for your kid, and your kids are assholes because you don't watch them. Why the fuck will they have a litter box with a little scooper next to it picking up human fucking waste? It makes no sense to me. Like, I feel like a lot of these things that they say are like true and whatnot. I'm like, I'm sorry, dude, but if I have already a shopping list of shit that I have to do, why would I worry about something that's not even close to anything that would impact or should impact the way I'm teaching people? Like,
well, it was all of it just to demonize trans people. That's all it was.
100%. Yeah. It's just because they look at like a trans person, not just, somebody transitioning from one to another, or even like identifying that way without even transitioning or anything like that. They look at it as like, well, now they want to be a dog, they want to be a cat, they want to be a fucking fox.
What if I decide next year I want to be an elephant? Then can I identify as one?
You're already a jackass, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, that's
really much of a stretch for you.
Exactly. Makes no fucking sense to me. But like, that's the thing with the advent of social media expanding to just being accessible to everybody, all of those ideas brought on by these white supremacist groups left the private message boards. And like, the real bad shit are still in the private message boards and the private servers and the private apps and all that kind of shit. But their propaganda is now allowed to be spread, allowed to look more benign, look like, I actually agree with this because this, that, and the other, like I said, they present it as, a grievance. What's wrong with this country? They're going too far to the left. Now they want communism. Now they want this and whatnot, which is another thing that drives me up the fucking wall. Like, motherfucker, you can't even define communism.
Yep.
You can define like maybe Stalin's version of it, because Stalin's version was not
that's why they throw all those words in the same fucking sentence. They don't know what any of them mean. They don't even know what capitalism is. They think that they are capitalists.
Right.
I have a cord in there. There we go.
Yeah,
they think that they're capitalists, and what they don't understand is that, like, no, you're not. You don't have any capital, my friend. You have to have that to be a capitalist.
Well, I was going to say, you're not a capitalist unless you're a fucking CEO or a trader.
You're a fucking useful idiot.
Yes, exactly. You drive capitalism. Doesn't mean you're a capitalist, period.
Right.
At all.
I want to call out too, Dubbins put something in the chat a minute ago, that August 4th, 1987, the fairness doctrine was ditched. And before that, they couldn't lie on broadcast. And I forgot about that. That was before that was scrapped. Broadcast news had to be absolutely factual.
100% accurate. Yeah. I guess that comes with the advent of cable news when the biases started popping up. Because like I remember, I mean, what Tucker Carlson got his start on CNN as a conservative pundit on Crossfire.
I think
I don't
Jon
know if
Stewart ended his career on Crossfire.
That's exactly what I was, referring to, because that was the first time I had seen, like, when I first saw that clip years ago. I was like, holy shit, Tucker Carlson was on CNN. What the fuck is going on here?
He looked, if you can imagine, he looked even fucking goofier back
Oh
then
yeah,
than he does now.
he was a thicker bastard back then.
What a
He had his
fucking
little
tool
bow
bag. He
tie
looked
and his little fucking
bloated and shit. Looked like
yeah,
that bow tie was choking him out.
exactly. I know. Like sometimes when I fucking button my top button up, I get a lot of shit for that all the time. Like all of a sudden my face will look puffier because it's like, well, you're cutting off air circulation, bro. Or
No,
you're
yours don't look that snug.
right. I mean, I try not to fucking make them that damn snug because I can't deal with that shit. Either way, but yeah, essentially, I think with the cable news and shit like that, with all these CEOs and whatnot, because I mean, make no fucking mistake, we are in an oligarchic society, plain and fucking simple.
Yep.
I mean, the people in on Capitol Hill and all that stuff, they're not controlling anything because essentially, they're paid off.
Their buddies are the ones controlling everything else.
Right, and that's why, and I think what really fucked us with that is the fact that we don't have term limits too. I mean, everybody on the chat, I guarantee you, would say the exact same damn thing. But it's like you got all these old people who are mostly corrupt. You put extra fucking.
Dude, Mitch McConnell's dead, I think.
Oh, dude, I think he's been in a freezer for a couple of months. I honestly think.
And this motherfucker's still a congressman somehow.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it was the same thing with what's her face. My God, she died recently, but she was like the oldest person in Congress, like in her 90s.
Oh, Feinstein?
Yes, that was her.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. They both do it on both fucking sides. And with them holding on to those structures, like millennials like us can't fucking, rise up in the ranks within the, political world in terms of, writing the laws and making the legislation to, make things a little bit more fucking evolved. And we were starting to get there, but then I guess somewhere in there, people just thought it was too damn far. And that's how we got Trump. And that was like the big thing, because their biggest enemy, they will always tell you 100%, is the person who started the real division in this country was Obama. Plain and simple. He is their scapegoat. And I'm like, well, last I checked, dude, I don't think you had a problem with Obama unless you were a racist piece of shit, burning effigies of him, hanging from a rope and shit.
In a tan suit.
Right. And it's like, show us the birth certificate, show us the fucking, like, all that other fucking shit. Like, we've already been divided as a country, but with the advent of, say, maybe social media and whatnot, now it's just gotten to the point where people are staunchly picking a side, and it just got completely fucking worse with Trump and straight up enabling these racist pieces of shit to have more of a voice. Hence the platforming and shit. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
that's what birtherism was all about. It was
right.
that same, like, I don't think there is anybody that could reasonably argue, reasonably being the operative word, that Trump is not a racist piece of shit. Right? Like, I mean, you cannot argue that the man isn't racist.
There are literally documents that says he is.
Fucking newspaper. He took out a full page ad that 5 black kids should be executed because they were in a park one day.
Yep. Oh, the Central Park 5.
And
that's right.
Like I was saying, like him doing the whole birtherism thing, the ramping up and elevating these fucking Stephen Millers and Pete Kegsbreaths of the world. That none of that is by accident, right? Like Trump, in a lot of ways, he's very good at media manipulation, especially as it relates to himself. But he is a very stupid man, and his brain 100%. Is melting in front of us.
He's a fucking nepo bitch. I mean,
he's a useful idiot, because the people that positioned themselves around him to be in these positions of power got what they wanted to be able to do and implement their goals. He was taking points from, like we were just talking about, Project 2025. What is it, like 70% done at this point, or at least in motion? It's
I think it's there. I think it's a little lower, but yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the first year, he was at like 35% or something shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it's if it's not at 70%, I'd say it's closer. It's getting closer and closer and closer. But
I tell
it's
people all the time too, if Barack Obama was the most divisive president to have ever lived with the like who to have ever served for the United States, then it's because white people were really fucking pissed that a black guy got elected.
100% every fucking time.
That's the only reason, because otherwise,
and that's, I mean, and I mean, you think about it too, especially with when Trump started entering the scene and he put his hat in the ring to run for president the first time. A lot of those people were like, all of a sudden, the great replacement theory shit started really popping.
Oh my god,
all of that because now we have a black guy in the White House. What the fuck else are they going to replace this on?
yep.
And one thing I've always told people that are like staunch believers in the great replacement theory, I'm like, if you're fucking worried about being replaced, you had no value in the first place.
Right.
Period.
Well, and that's all of these things are where they are because, like we were just talking about, no one in the government is going to do anything because all of their buddies are the ones running the show, right?
Right.
All their buddies are the ones profiting on. They're all making money. Excuse me. They're all making money, and there's a very, I would hope anyway, to most people, there is a very obvious lack of diversity among the ruling class in this country, right? Like the people, the billionaires, the almost trillionaire or temporary trillionaire, the government, they all look the same. It's old fucking white dudes. And because they're the ones that run the government and all of the media, they literally own the media, all of it, period, that you consume.
Everything's owned by what? 4 companies? 3 companies?
Right. Which is why so many fucking white people in this country, straight white people specifically, find it offensive when they're not centered in conversations, when they're not centered in societal structure, in anything in the media, right? You see, there's one show that comes out with a black family, and they're like, "Oh, here we go." God forbid somebody on that show is gay. Holy shit.
Can you fucking imagine?
Holy shit.
Can you imagine if we had social media back when like they started airing All in the Family or fucking like the Jeffersons or, you know, Good Times or, you know, all of those shows back then? Because like All in the Family, for example, you know, Archie Bunker was the problematic, the lovable racist, essentially. Yeah. And, you know, each episode had a lesson in his prejudices, essentially. And, you know, maybe change his mind a little bit, or like, you know, why don't we ease up off the black people a little bit, guys? You know, it's you know, we just had the Civil Rights Act. Like, you know, can we you know, stop doing that or whatever? And that would drive them further to the fucking right, because if they don't feel like they're on top of somebody,
social media were around back then, I would have taken a fucking toaster bath by now. There's no way. There's no way. But it's all, I mean, even in the look at how the existing news media, right? Like the what do they call it? The mainstream media, right? The Fox Newses, the CNNs, NBC, all of the major networks. Pay attention to how they frame the person that is either whether they are a victim or the perpetrator. Pay attention to how they frame that person as it relates to their skin color, because
100%.
Every single fucking time it is totally different. The way that they frame it for a black or a brown person is completely fucking different, up to and including the pictures of the person that they put on the fucking screen.
Yeah. They'll show a white dude like with his family, looking all happy, all smiles, you know, the smile to light up a room like you hear in every single fucking true crime documentary ever of a victim of a murder, where they're like, they just had a smile that just light up the room.
Right. Oh, like they were just the most lovable person.
Right. And then they'll show,
I mean, especially when a white dude is the perpetrator, then it's like, well, Gary, I would have never guessed he makes burgers every Sunday. We've had beers together. Seems like a totally normal guy. It's always some fucking doe-eyed clown in the camera.
Exactly. And then you go to the person of color side, and they will just try to just sift through their social media to find the most stereotype looking picture they can possibly fucking find.
Every single time.
You can't make the white people fucking feel uncomfortable.
Yep.
That's just impossible.
It's no secret that these same people, right? They're the ruling class is all old white dudes. These same people are also very much in the files, right? Like a lot of these same people are very much in the fucking files. So that's the same reason that we saw in media the framing of, I mean, think about, we grew up with fucking Britney Spears, right? And Christina Aguilera. Britney Spears' breakout song was Hit Me Baby One More Time, where she was
1999.
dressed like a fucking schoolgirl in a high school hallway.
16, I think 17. She was
That was
not only
normal that
yeah
was normalized for
yeah
us. And now we find out that all these people in what fucking homeboy from Nickelodeon
yep
that was fucking around with all the kids.
I
Like
watched
there's
that fucking documentary too, man. That was a rough one.
and that like now you see people that we grew up with in these like TV shows and movies like Amanda Bynes and people going off the deep Britney Spears shaving her fucking head, all this shit, all these people going off the deep end that you're like, man,
well,
it's crazy to be a child star. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Crazy that they're surrounded by fucking P3DOs.
Yeah, rich white dudes who put them through straight up fucking hell. And that's if, like putting them through hell, like psychologically, is like the bare minimum. Doing actual horrid acts to them, that's kind of, I mean, with everything that comes out, especially with files and whatnot, that's one thing that I have definitely learned is a lot of the time the conspiracy theories aren't really that conspiratorial. There are things like because you can go into, say, what the right did with Pizzagate, for example. You can kind of look at that, or even like somebody like Alex Jones and shit like that, which, yes, he fucking, with the Sandy Hook thing, he fucking, what a vile piece of fucking shit.
However, was what Sandy Hook is in my backyard. It literally, like the school that it happened at is less than 10 minutes away from the house that I grew up in.
Right. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So like, so the morning Sandy Hook happened, I was packing up my shit in Florida to move back home to Connecticut. I left Florida to drive back home that morning, like right after it happened.
Right. Yeah.
And then, then there was Alex, and it was Alex Jones first. And that, truthfully, if I'm being all the way honest, that's when things went really off the rails. Because that's when I first started noticing the shifts in the people around me and how they were talking about things. And everything became so much more mean-spirited, right? Like it wasn't a, like you were saying before, these guys like, oh, I'm just asking questions, I'm just out here joking around, I'm just the guy that's asking. That's when all that shit started. And those things, it's important to recognize too, that like those things are all those turns of phrase, like they use coded language on purpose.
That's another tactic they use.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just the racist shit, the overtly racist shit that's put in coded language, but it's also things like that are literally intended to make you doubt institutions and doubt the news, doubt the validity of things. I mean, shit, in 1984, the party told you to like you ignore the truth of your eyes and ears, and that's what they said is what went. And that's why they use shit like that of like I'm just the guy asking questions, and they code things, and they use, like you said, those proxy political issues to sneak their messaging into the mainstream. That's how it's happened for, I mean, over the last couple decades at least, right? It's become 100%. More and more prevalent.
Right. But it's also, but now, since we can basically reach anybody in the world if we really want to with a fucking Wi-Fi connection, they're able to point it and target it a little easier, especially with the algorithms and things like that. You figure the algorithm, you figure out your nook of whatever social media app or program that is out there. And you throw all that coded language out there, and you mask it in, say, political everyday society grievances. And then by then, because I mean, every single person, especially nowadays, especially with this fucking war in Iran and everything else, everybody's fucking struggling right now. For the most part, everybody is struggling. 41% of the fucking country is below what the poverty line should be. Or, I mean, honestly, where the poverty line should be, there's probably more than 41% of people, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
Below the poverty line, because of course they never raise the minimum wage. They raise the prices more than they do the wages, all that. Everybody knows that.
Because that's the thing, is it's got nothing to do with actually helping anybody, right? That's the thing that I think that most people forget, is that like we try to I think that's a lot of why you and I have switched away from trying to educate and more so just like, I'm gonna burn your fucking house down.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
there's no arguing on the basis of fact or reality anymore. There's always a new angle that they're attempting, and it's literally always the code. It's always the code. They're not in it to help anyone. Their whole goal is to harm. So they speak in these coded language, these kind of codes as like, like my favorite one recently, the Democrats are importing votes.
Right. What was it?
All these immigrants
260,000
are crossing the border to vote for a Democrat. Yeah, no, that's why they're coming here. 100%. That's exactly it, because they want to vote.
It couldn't possibly.
It
couldn't possibly be the fact that we or an ally destabilized their fucking country through sanctions, through invasions, through everything else to make it completely unsustainable. So where they feel like they have to move out of it and find a place that would accept them, which, you know, a lot of the time is us. You know, give me your tired, give me your sick, give me your fucking weary. All of that shit. We destabilize a nation. They come over here because we fucked it up, and then we're pissed at them for coming after we had fucked up their, you know, whole place. Well, go back to your country. Why don't you fucking advocate for us to stop fucking them up then?
Right. Meanwhile, though, they're cheering on the administration that just marched into Venezuela and toppled a leader and stole all their oil.
Right.
Cool.
And left the rest of the pieces of shit that they claimed that they were there to go get in places of power. I mean, as soon as they took Maduro, you can look I forget. I think it was Meet the Press. They had Lil Marco on, and it's like, okay, his vice president has been charged with like having, you know, basically metric dick tons of drugs and, you know, smuggling that through there, as well as, you know, murdering a bunch of innocent people to keep that going. You still have him in a position of power in this country. What are you doing? Like, you say you're occupying this country to, you know, destabilize the regime that got there under false pretenses. They rigged their election, all that kind of stuff. But you kept out every single one of them except the president in power. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And then you bitch and you moan that these people move from those places and come here to take your job, kill your neighbors, and fucking, you know, violate your daughter. And like, it drives me up the fucking wall. I'm like, we did this. Like, you know, I mean, not every single, you know, refugee that comes over here is not because of us, but an ally or somebody
probably in a roundabout way though too. Like, sure. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's not directly, probably in some roundabout way. And that's the argument against, like, when they, like, the radical leftist, socialist, communist, Marxist, all the isms come out of their mouth because they, again, can't define a single fuck one of them.
No.
But they rattle all these things off because, what? Tell me somewhere in the world that socialism has worked. Everywhere it's been attempted, the U.S. has said, no, you don't. We're going to kill your leader, and then we're going to take your shit.
Right. I mean, that was the whole thing. I mean, Jesus Christ, like, everything can be tied into a whole bunch of shit that we did overseas, man. Because, like, for example, that was why the Cold War happened. Because, you know, that the Soviets were part of the Axis for a while. Hitler pissed off Stalin and started, you know, clipping his own people or whatever. So he defected and went to us, and we knew damn well that as soon as we take down the regime on the Axis, or the regimes in the Axis, Russia's going to go back to being somewhat. That's how the Cold War happened, and that's why the Operation Paperclip happened. That's why we smuggled all those Nazi scientists in to help us build rockets and whatnot. And so they see, and that was part of the Cold War propaganda since forever. The boomers are still alive. They grew up with that fucking Cold War propaganda. The Ruskies, dude, the freaking, you know, this, that, and the other. Before the Civil Rights Act, before integration in schools, before any of that shit, they're still clinging to that.
Even the fact that even McCarthyism is popping back up,
dude. Everything, dude. Everybody, like, so Antifa is now a terrorist organization, which is not even an organization. But, like, that's the new Red Scare. You know what else is going to happen now, especially since they martyred Chucky Boy, is we're going to have another satanic panic. We're going to have the same one, that was in the 80s is going to happen, but it's going to be on fucking steroids because we're so connected as a planet, essentially. And
all of this again goes back to the notions of white supremacy, right? Like, it's really, this is where a lot of people get lost on it too. Like, when you're talking about it, especially with a right winger, they're like, "Oh, you're going to tell me that God and Jesus is part of the concept of white supremacy?" Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally fucking always. Yes.
Is the product
like that's what was used to justify slavery. It's been used to justify every heinous thing that we've committed as a country, right? Like
right,
everything. That's been used to justify it. Even up to and including right now, you have, like we were just talking about, Mamdani wins in New York. By all accounts, especially by New Yorkers, a wild success so far,
right,
right?
right.
Talk to anybody who doesn't live anywhere fucking near New York,
They got
and
something to say about it.
Mamdanistan he's a communist. Fucking, you know, he's going to implement Sharia law. All of it is Islamophobia. It immediately goes to Islamophobia. It's the same, like it all connects to the white supremacist shit, because what other reason would you have to be talking shit about brown people just because they believe in a different sky daddy than you do?
Right, right. Well, and that's the thing too, because I mean, it goes back to everybody struggling. 41% below the poverty line, all that kind of shit. And that's where the big companies and the lobbyists and all that shit come in, where they need a villain. We can't be the villain because we got to run everything. Like, we run everything right now. If we're the villain, guess what? We all the shit that we enjoy, all going to be gone, because they're
Yep.
gonna whatever. And I mean, we could say it till we're blue in the face right now, because we recognize it, but at the same time, not really much we can do from an actual, in terms of manifesting physical actual change, unless we're in those positions of power. And that's why the boomers are holding on to it for so much. And that's why all that shit, they got to give them a villain. And it's always somebody who is a darker shade than whomever's in the position of power, period.
Yep.
That's your villain. That's who's fucking your life up right now. We ain't doing shit.
No. It couldn't possibly be the rich people hoarding all the mountains of money.
I gave you a 50-cent raise last week, dude. What like, it couldn't possibly be me. I gave you an extra 50
couldn't
cents,
possibly
bro.
be the stupid, crazy rich people hoarding mountains of money like fucking Scrooge McDuck. It couldn't possibly be that.
Right. It's them, they're just getting paid under the table. So these companies, motherfucker, you're the ones also paying these, migrants under the fucking table. Like, as soon as he went on that mass deportation shit, he immediately had to backpedal for the farmers, because he's like, well, fuck. It was funny. I remember he's like, you got to use your common sense. I'm like, motherfucker, you don't have that. You don't have any goddamn sense.
The mass deportation thing was,
it's still
literally the very first outburst that I had was, who's gonna do all the work? Because all these motherfuckers bitching about, they're coming over here taking our jobs. Pick up a goddamn shovel or go pick some fucking blueberries and see how long you last.
Come to Texas, motherfucker. Come to Texas.
Give it a shot. Give it a shot.
Small business.
Every single fucking one of them, up to and including people in my own family. Like, as soon as there's a job, it doesn't even matter if it's manual labor or not. As soon as there is a job function that they view as beneath them, doesn't matter.
And they can pay for pennies on the fucking dollar. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And every one of them, they're happy to take one or two less, as long as someone that they don't like gets 5 less.
Right. And that's
what we're looking at right now. All the prices are fucking through the roof, gas through, all this shit's going up, and they're like, yeah, it's not even, we're winning so hard right now.
And that's like, and I guess that's where pattern recognition comes into fucking play too, is like, we destabilized their nation. And so they weren't making any money there. They could barely feed their families, things like that. It's part of the reason why they immigrate in the fucking first place, right? They come here. Well, you'll be making more than you made in your country, even though we're going to pay you significantly fucking less than, say, a normal fucking, or say an actual U.S. citizen. They're able to fucking do that. But I don't know, man. It just, and with the networks and whatnot, especially now, they're just harder and harder to pin down. It's harder to really recognize when you're being fucking gaslit versus if it's like an actual thing. Like, you got to go and do hours upon hours of research to really fucking see, what's real, what's not. Like, you can't even use, like, the only thing, like, I'll use AI for example, maybe is like to maybe springboard the research. Like, where can I find these articles?
Yeah, that's about all you can do, though, because it's most of it is working on outdated information. It has to be double and triple checked. I mean, fuck, just what was it, yesterday, the day before, I heard a news story about a girl that offed herself because ChatGPT told her she was prophetic. Right.
I don't know. I think it was probably last week tonight. I watched a segment on the AI in terms of people using it for therapy and whatnot, and how there are no guardrails when it comes to suicide ideation, because essentially this is a thing that you are training. It's essentially an extension of you that can probably think a little bit quicker than say you can when it comes to certain things. And so it can, you're training it and you're training it and you're training it. And eventually if those safeguards, are going to be important, especially if you are in a position where you would feel like you wanted to check out early and things like that. I've had several friends that
tell people. There's so many times I've had the conversation with people about like, AI is going to take over everything. And eventually, yeah, right. Eventually AI and automation is going to take the large and vast majority of employment from living, breathing humans. Yes, eventually. However, in the meantime, that's not what's going to take your job. What's going to take your job is some fuck knuckle who thinks they're really good at it. But the problem with AI is that it's only as good as the person using it, right? Because like you said, you're training it. You are training it to think like you think. And if you don't think good, you're going to have a fucking bad time.
Right. 100%. But I actually did a video on the AI situation a couple of days ago, because I did a stitch of Hegseth's, Congress or congressional inquiry and whatnot about him trying to, beg for an extra few $1 billion for this shit. And he was talking about how these tech giants are, providing these lethal like innovation to the battlefield. I'm like, not just there, motherfucker, because essentially now, because of the race, like the AI race, every single company is just racing to be the end all be all source of AI, all that kind of stuff. And what are they doing to keep up the pace? Using their own fucking AI to train their AI. And they just did a study at King's College in London in February, where they took 3 different bots, GPT 5.2, Gemini Flash, and Claude Sonnet 4. And they put them in 21 different war game scenarios that involved a nuclear crisis. And every single time, without even hinting at the notion of de-escalation, even when they were in the face of certain defeat, launch them. Launch the nukes. Launch the nukes. Launch them. Every time. Every time.
Fucking crazy, man.
Didn't even try to de-escalate. Just went straight to a nuclear option immediately. And with shit like that, and I guess a lot of people, especially within, like, you get your Stephen Millers and whatnot, who want that fucking utopia. That's where the accelerationist factor does come in with these white supremacist groups. Is a lot of them are accelerationists. They want a whole thing burned the fuck down so they can build their ideal society on the ashes. And that's another thing. That was a big thing, and it kind of goes back to good old Jeffrey as well, because him being a financial advisor, you know what his plan was essentially? Go overseas, flatten Arab countries, build your utopia on the ashes of that. Or in Trump's case, build your hotels, build your resorts, build your whatever. That's why they have Kushner and Witkoff out there. Essentially,
which explains the current MO for the blue and white country.
They're taking advantage of the monetary gains that they can do with, say, these peace talks, for example. They're basically trying to get an inside look into what the peace talks are actually like so they can plan accordingly. I mean, they're already manipulating the stock market as it is, but now they can plan accordingly in terms of building their own societies out in the Middle East after they've, flattened and completely disintegrated thousands upon thousands of residents out there, period.
Well, and when you consider Jeffrey's connections to the blue and white country and Netanyahu and all of that, it makes their current foreign policy, we'll call it, make sense.
Right. Makes sense.
There are already settlers. I fucking hate that word so much. There are already Israeli people going over
Squatters.
there and just taking over, and Trump wanting to build a fucking tower over. Like, it's there's no shortage of that shit.
Right.
And all of those ties. I mean, we even have like loose participation, I would call it, right? So like you have the people, part of the problem is the white supremacists, the neo-Nazis, the white nationalists, and all the Christian nationalists, they're all together, right? They all, especially the ones up at the top, they know what they're doing because their end goal is the same. But then you have the people who are like you and I, just out in the world trying to live life, that fall into this and vote for these things. And they're people that they, like we were talking about the coded language, right? and them using these proxy positions to like amplify their shitty ideology. All of that happens on purpose. And unfortunately, these people that are the you and I's of the world that are just out and about trying to live don't recognize the danger in associating with people like that, right? Because like you can say like, oh, we have, even to somebody who has fucking half a brain cell rolling around between their ears, you tell them we have an immigration problem. We have, all these people are pouring over and our system can't handle it and blah, blah, blah. The facts say otherwise, right? We could probably use an update and a fix, but it's not to the point that we need to fucking round people up and be shooting people in the streets left and right.
Right.
That's probably not the answer. But aside from just those people pulling the strings and implementing these policies, we have the platforms like I mentioned earlier, Jubilee.
Mm-hmm.
I get physically angry when I see certain Jubilee episodes. Not all of them are like as rage inducing as others.
Sure.
But like this idea that like, they platform these people like Jake Lang just did a debate with what's her nuts Z from Unfucked America.
Yeah. I didn't even watch it. I saw the behind the scenes, but that was it.
Dude, the video, for me, like, it's not even about the debate. This motherfucker walked into their studio and she was like seated at a table and she got up, smile. Oh, it's so nice to meet you. She get like, what the fuck is happening right now? First of all, but they do all this shit under the guise of like, oh, it's just, we want to have open discussion. We want to talk about these things.
We want to see different perspectives and whatnot.
Right. But it's got nothing to do with fucking perspective or discussion. Because like I said, in the case of Jubilee, everyone's going to leave that room believing the exact same fucking thing that they believed when they got there. Everyone who was watching that video, same exact thing. They're not doing it for open discussion. They're doing it to profit off of their packaging of hate and misinformation as entertainment.
And the salacious nature of it. Like, oh shit, we got a Nazi on here. People are going to watch that every time.
Because, well, it pleases the algorithm, right? It creates engagement. Rage makes engagement. So it's going to make us money. And and then people treat these fucking stupid, backwards, fucking hillbilly ass, dangerous ideologies as if they are like valid and opposing viewpoints that are worthy of debate. And instead of just like the fact that Jake Lang walked into that fucking building and got handshakes and not one person.
The fact that
one single person even gave him a sideways look. What do you mean? What do you mean?
The fact that he felt safe at all fucking utterly infuriates me.
It's insane. He walked in there fucking joking. Oh, belly of the beast. Yeah. This is a literal fucking Nazi in your face. And it's so good to meet you. And like all I think about is that what is that? What's that quote? Like if there's 10 Nazis sitting at a table and you go join them, there are now 11 Nazis at that table.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that the idea that any of this is open for fucking discussion. And it unfortunately for me, it's also affected my brain in the way of like the never wokes. Hey, Ken Conson's here. What's up, man?
Hey.
The fact that it affects, it's affected my judgment, even going down to the never wokes and the people who are coming out of it, so to speak, right? Like, I got no love for that dude. I got no fucking love for that dude. And not even to the point that I'm even willing to like, I'm going to sit down with you and understand what, like, I couldn't do it. And I'm not saying that, like, in the case of Never Woke, for example, I've been watching his silently watching his videos and his counter arguments and all that stuff. I don't fucking engage with it. I just watch it. Right. But I just like, I don't have anything to say to you. I don't have anything to say to you, especially because you had this epiphany, but every one of those motherfucking videos that you've put up talking shit, demeaning, being racist, transphobic, bigoted in every form possible, every single fucking one of those videos is still up.
Right? You didn't take any of that shit down.
Why? Why didn't you start a new account? And even if you didn't want to start a new account because you had all those followers and you wanted to see, how many, I wonder if I'll lose anybody or if I can get people to stick around, you still left all of that content in place? That's pretty fucking wild.
And then see, I look at the Never Wokes and whatnot. I look at those as grifter. The ones that are still like, right. I mean, granted, he's having his existential crisis, but a lot of the ones that are still like staunchly MAGA, like whatever, They're all grifters as it is. They're in it for the fucking paycheck. They're in it for the clicks, the likes, the follows, the whatever, just the money essentially. But the fact that now, and a lot of the time, like, you know, we hear it over and over and over again, but now it's starting to really start taking shape since everybody's fucking struggling now, is MAGA is dying. 100% it is dying. And it's gotten to the point where the grifters have to either fucking pivot completely, and, you know, who doesn't like a good redemption story? Who doesn't like, you know, because all we see is rage, man. We see rage over here, right? Well, how about we go with the redemption story over here? Oh, no, he's good now, guys. Guess what, motherfucker? When the shit, like, when things start normalize, like say MAGA dies, say we kind of find some degree of normalcy, even somewhat progression, you know, so progressive values and whatnot, especially with the, you know, with Mom Donnies of the world and things of that nature, right? Those motherfuckers are going to go right back to thinking, or go right back to presenting what they really believe and what they really think, because now it's not existential. And that's a big thing too with a lot of, you know, these white nationalist groups and whatnot, is all very apocalyptic. And who is more susceptible to suggestion than an evangelical Christian? We've been through how many fucking rapture predictions these last year or so?
Oh, so many.
Like
so
12?
many. I keep waiting and hoping with my whole heart. And every day I wake up and they're still here.
Yeah. Every time. I go outside, look up real quick. I don't see Kirk Cameron, dude. He's not saying nothing. You know what I mean? Like,
Kirk Cameron.
Because if you give, especially like a evangelical Christian, you know, some kind of apocalyptic, or even suggest the notion of this could be apocalyptic, this could be apocalyptic, this could be apocalyptic, they're more susceptible to join, say, those groups, because, you know, they want to burn it all down and build their Christian utopia. Again, it all comes back to burning it all fucking down, but you need a villain to be able to do that, because you cannot sit there. It's like, what is it? It's like the firing squad, right? Say they'll have like 5 dudes with rifles. One of them has a live round in the gun. The other 4 have, you know, blanks, but they won't tell who has the live round. That way they can kind of, you know, distance themselves from it. It was the same way with the concentration camps in Germany in the 30s and 40s, where it started out with them just popping them in the street or lining them up in a mass grave and popping them. But it started to fuck with the morale of the soldiers, because they're like,
I wonder why.
Innocent people. And so when they started with the chambers, they had a degree of separation to where it was A, more efficient, B, people don't feel bad. You know what I mean? For doing what they're doing, or they don't feel as bad, unless you are straight up, you know, unless you're a Himmler, or unless you're a fucking Mangala, or unless you're whatever.
They were just fucking sociopathic, like deranged lunatics.
Right.
But that's the goal of all the shit we're talking about. It's the dehumanization element, right? Like, even I saw DQ put something in the chat earlier about the person that got shot in Wisconsin by the police, right?
Dude, oh my God.
6 what was it? 6 officers?
Have you seen the video?
On one dude? Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Like, dude stepped on him and it was like, bang, bang, and then holstered, went on about his day.
Like it was nothing. Like it was nothing. It's all of it is, it's the dehumanization, and it's all meant for, it's all aimed at that same goal, right? It's the burn it down so that we can rebuild. It's the same reason that, like, the you know, we were talking about like replacement theory and all this stupid conspiracy bullshit being promoted on these channels. Charlie Kirk, at one point anyway, being a podcaster and as big as he was, all like he literally said replacement theory like rhetoric, used it, and they're like, no, nuh-uh, because, you know, they're very stupid. These people, they're very stupid,
right?
And so they don't hear replacement theory, they hear brown people bad,
right?
And he's right, because this guy that didn't go to college, didn't have an education to speak of, nothing, who just popped up as Turning Point USA man,
right?
This guy definitely knows what's going on, because, you know, again, we're dealing with people who got their news off of a mustachioed man at the 8 o'clock news hour.
Yep.
And now it's just like, oh, it's different, but it's the same. This is the guy that gives me my news. But meanwhile, he's spouting off all these fucking replacement theory, all these white nationalist bullshit lines. And that's how they do it. They do it by inserting the coded language, by telling crude and cruel jokes and trying to mask it as humor, or say shit like, I'm just asking questions, I'm just telling a joke, as if any of the bullshit that they're saying is worth discussion. But they do it so that they have, like you said, also, I think you mentioned this, so that they have plausible deniability, right? So that when you go, hey, you're fucking racist. Or when somebody says, hey, Charlie Kirk is a white nationalist, a white supremacist. Charlie Kirk was this or that. No, he wasn't. No, I'm not. How can I be?
It's confirmation biases, and it's a degree of making you feel good about them or not as bad. It's like, again, it's like with the firing squad and the chambers and all that kind of shit. You have a certain way of separating the really bad shit. You can. I mean, it's not a good argument, but you could argue that, well, I advocate for this, but I didn't advocate for this. Again, I didn't vote for this is another thing. I didn't vote for this. They got to separate themselves from being the assholes that they are. Like, the one thing that I've always had in my head about it is, what's the golden rule? Treats people how you would like to be treated, or, and how I like to say it, don't be a dick. And guess what?
Right.
Guess what? If you are racist as fuck, if you think somebody with a darker shade of skin than you is taking your job, killing your family and whatnot, if you believe that kind of shit, guess what? You're a dick. Sorry. If you believe that anybody with less money than you is beneath you, you're a dick. Sorry. Like, everything, don't be a dick. If you look at it and be like, okay, would this make me look like a dick? I think the world would be a little bit better place.
Simple guideline to follow. Don't be a dick.
Right. Just don't be a dick. Period. That has been my golden rule forever. Don't be a dick. Period.
But all this shit is, like you said, it's meant to make it more palatable, right? Because no one wants to be called a racist, and that's the thing of it. It's not that they don't want to be racist. They don't want to be called racist.
They don't want to be seen as a racist.
So you make it palatable and make it softer. Make the coding soft. You'll also notice that's why there's these are the same people, by the way. This older generation are the same people who fucking spit at veterans when they came back from Vietnam.
Yep.
And now they're fucking tongue deep in the boot treads.
Yep.
And it's no coincidence. Like, these fucking groups actively recruit within the military.
Yeah. 100%.
It's no secret that all of this, like, American, our soul, respect your soldiers and the only time they ever talk about respecting the troops, obviously, is during Pride Month, because why don't we have a month for veterans? But you're fucking dumb. But they act like there's a reason that they're like you mentioned, they're not the skinheads anymore with the fucking with the swastikas tattooed on them. They're just average, clean cut. Well, some of them look like fucking overstuffed sausages in those khakis and polo shirts.
Those are the inbreds. Those are the underbites that just they're blatantly racist. They don't give a fuck. But in terms of at that point,
it's just numbers, and we just need numbers.
Right, but see, you look at the underbites and you look at those kind of people. You don't look at them as people with credibility. You look at the button-down dude with the khakis on, with the fucking Dockers on, with the fucking button-down shirt, and trying to frame it in a way where it's like, so this is just wrong here, and it's just wrong here, and whatever, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
That person looks like they have more credibility. And the thing with Kirk too, that was another thing that kind of gives you that separation. Not only that's why I hate it when they would come at me and be like, you were hoping Trump got shot, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. No, I don't. Why? Because it martyrs him. And what does a martyr do? It helps you justify your own shitty fucking argument. A lot of these people that were Charlie Kirk, or that are Charlie Kirk fans now, I guarantee you did not give a fuck about him until he got popped. Period.
No, now it's not. And so it's the number of times I have seen R.I.P. CK or R.I.P. Charlie Kirk in someone's bio is, God damn it, it's nauseating.
Right. And and that's his thing. A lot of his was catering to the youth. They want to be in every high school and college campus in the country. They want to, that was kind of how they presented, is we want to bring the conservative perspective back to the college, because colleges are all liberal and whatnot. You know why they're liberal? Guess what, motherfucker? There's history, legitimate history, not mandated by the state, not mandated by, some random ass, like in my case, a piece of shit who fucking oak tree should have finished the job. Like, there's no fucking real guardrails into the real history of things. And but to them it's indoctrination. Never mind, Turning Point, for example, who I just did a video on them, tried to tell me that Mr. Rogers was transphobic. That shit pissed me off. I had to make a video immediately on that, because he had a song called "Everybody's Fancy," and essentially what it was designed to do is teach kids to be comfortable in their own skin. If you're like, you want to be unique, you want to be your own person, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And in the original version in the 60s, he said, like, say only girls can be the mommies, only girls or only boys can be the daddies, and all that kind of stuff, right? And at that point in time, because we didn't really start distinguishing biological sex with gender identity, or things like that, right? They realized that it was a thing, so like medical researchers are pairing off with psychologists to kind of get a grasp on what this is, so they can find the best course of action for, say, a patient that would be going through that, right? And after a while, we get more and more versed in it. And he revised those lyrics in 1992 to take out the only, so he can be a little bit more inclusive and evolved. And that was 1992. That wasn't the woke fucking Obama era. That was 1990 fucking two. Like, anybody with a fucking brain on their shoulder or in their heads, like, understands this. But there are just people that just cannot get out of their own way and out of their own biases, or out of their trained biases, or out of their
If I hear one of these fucking stupid potatoes say some shit about do your own research again, I don't, man. I
that's been around.
I struggle with that one because
period.
the most the most common feedback I used to get from, especially from my family, because I that's where my whole like political conversation, arguments, all of that shit started with immediate family, graduated to cussing people out in Facebook comments. And then it got to the point that, like, when Charlotte and I were together at first, she would just see me intently staring at my phone, and my thumbs would be moving a fucking mile a minute.
Yep, I was the same way.
Her first question would be, "Who are you arguing with?"
Yep.
Who are you arguing with? And it got to the point that like the do your own. There was the biggest piece of feedback I got was you're very condescending. You talk down to people. And I'm like, well, okay, it's difficult not to do that when you say things that are so very fucking stupid, like demonstrably false.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, well, I do my own research. No, you don't. You typed a question into Google and clicked the first thing that said what you wanted it to say. That's not research.
No,
that's not research.
You saw a meme. You saw a meme that probably was made by some white supremacist, white nationalist in a fucking message board that, accepts your stupid ass, view of the world, and you look at it as fact because it's presented as fact. It's always presented as fact. And they, that's, guess what? That's right there. I don't have to do my fucking research, but I'm going to fucking pretend because I know these smart guys are going to ask me this, that, and the other when it comes to questions and whatnot. And it's, shit drives me up the fucking wall.
Yeah. Ken just said too, my favorite is when the low IQ people say, look it up. I already did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm standing in front of a fucking camera, you half-wit. Did you think I just picked it up and was like, I'm just going to say words and I hope it comes out good?
Because that's what they do. That's the thing. There's the projection again. There's the every accusation is a confession, because
I hate this timeline so much.
Oh, dude, it's so fucking infuriating. I swear to Christ. 4chan said exactly, Ken.
It's so fucking terrible.
4chan said this. Some random asshole, and that's the thing. They present it that way, and some people want that apocalypse because of their religion, and some people want that apocalypse because of their biases. But one thing, and going back to what you were talking about in terms of, you talk down to people and whatnot. I'm sorry, I grew up with these fuck sticks my entire life. One thing that they give a shit about more than anything else, even though they look fucking stupid and they act stupid, is appearances. They give a shit the most about appearances. And when you embarrass them in front of people, they'll either shut the fuck up and not, say a bunch of dumb shit, and they'll keep their biases and they'll vote that way, but they won't, try to present it as fact and try to get, influence the younger generation. Mm-hmm. For example, the ones whose brains haven't fully fucking formed yet.
Yeah, no shit.
They'll shut the fuck up, or they might, if they have at least somewhat of a conscience or a wrinkle in their fucking brain, they might sit there and maybe what, maybe I should do a little bit more research on this. And that's why my immediate approach when I first started doing content was to just straight up make them look stupid. Period.
Oh yeah.
The more stupid I make you look, the more you're either going to shut the fuck up, or you're actually going to research your topic instead of just saying the propaganda shit that you saw on a meme on, Twitter or in a message board or whatever. I mean, now that you have X, especially, that is basically a fucking white nationalist Nazi utopia because it is run by an actual fascist. Like, now they don't have to necessarily be as hidden as they used to be. They may not have their
didn't he just
logo.
get brought up on charges?
Who?
Musk? Didn't Musk just get charged with something or
Oh, I don't know. I haven't.
I think it was something related to election interference because he was like literally saying, like telling people vote X amount X way and and we'll pay you however many dollars.
Yeah, no,
he was literally offering people money for votes.
I didn't know he got charged for that. I knew he was doing that. Like, he gave like 3 people $1 million for pledging their vote for Trump. Like, he gave them $1 million.
It was in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mal.
There you go.
Yeah, it's just of course he won't show up too. Like, he's not.
No, he doesn't need to.
That's the thing that gets me is like all of the shit that is going on right now. I don't even have confidence that anyone's actually going to like be punished.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have confidence that anyone's going to go to jail. I don't have confidence that anyone's even going to be disbarred or none of that shit.
Unless we start taking the fucking reins. Unless we start taking the reins, I feel like it's because at this point, especially because I mean, you define a leftist as somebody who is, more but more liberal in their views and things like that. Sure, but we also don't take any fucking shit. We also, one of the first things I had said in one of my videos when I had my first beef on this motherfucker was like, my convictions cannot be bought. I can't be fucking reasoned with. And you can try to come at me all day, but I'm going to fucking take your ass out every single time. I'm sorry. Right. If I see you being a dick and it's within the bounds of prosecuting your fucking ass, if I have the power to do that, guess what? Your motherfucking ass is either going to court or, public meetings will be reinstilled. I don't fucking know.
Absolutely. Yep.
It just, right now, I think the reason why we are at a fucking standstill is everybody who's in a position of power has their pockets lined by richer pieces of shit who want this kind of shit, and they can't. And B, they're stubborn in their own fucking upbringing. They refuse to change their minds based on new information. They fucking refuse to do that.
The thing that everybody forgets to recognize, right? Like, and I think I'm hoping against hope at this point, but I'm genuinely and sincerely hoping that, like, as I grow older, as we all grow older, we don't lose touch with that. You know what I mean? Like, it become like that. Don't get me wrong. There are plenty of things that kids say that I'm like, I don't even know. Like 6, 7, I'm not interested. I don't know what that is. I don't care what it is. I don't care.
I have a 7-year-old daughter, and I had to look that shit up.
I have no idea. I have no idea what that means.
From what I saw of it, it actually just means nothing. It's just somebody said it once, and it just turned into like an internet phenomenon. Either way, I think in a lot of our generation too is sipping the Flavor-Aid, not Kool-Aid, motherfuckers. There's another piece of information. Jim Jones did not use Kool-Aid. He used Flavor-Aid. He did not even spring for the good shit. He used the generic version to,
Flavor-Aid?
Flavor-Aid, yeah. It wasn't even Kool-Aid. It was fucking Flavor-Aid.
That's a
I'll be that guy every time. Somebody said, "You drinking the Kool-Aid?" I'm like, "Bitch, it was Flavor-Aid. Shut the fuck up."
Put some respect on that name.
Right?
It wasn't Kool-Aid.
Like, first off, Kool-Aid is awesome. I do not want you associating the murder of over 900 people with a tasty beverage.
With Kool-Aid.
Yeah. But I mean, where was I? I don't know. I lost my fucking train of thought with that. But yeah, I mean, with our generation, they're drinking the Flavor-Aid and they're starting, whatever. But I feel like, at the same time, though, I don't know. I'm sure you get the same kind of comment, but I get it every now and then where it's just like, you should run for office. You should run for office. I'm like, motherfucker, I don't know if I'm like fit for that. But at the same time,
yeah,
it's gotten to the point where any motherfucker can be president these days, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, if Donald Trump can be allowed to be seated in, have you seen the Oval Office? Have you seen the pictures of the inside of the Oval Office and how
it currently is?
Ungodly, atrociously fucking gaudy it looks.
Oh yeah, it's fucking terrible.
Oh my!
All the gold is just, the curtains are even gold.
Oh, it's fucking nauseating. Yeah. I don't like gold as it is, but that shit makes me. It's disgusting. Yep. And it looks like the cheap, shitty plated gold. Like, He bought some shit from Home Depot and spray painted it.
Oh, 100. Yeah, no, he did. He did. I believe it was Amazon.
Somebody did. He probably didn't because he can't walk on them fucking cankles anyway.
Right.
But I think that's my what I was saying before is like I genuinely hope, especially for myself, but for the majority of us, that as we get older, that we don't like lose touch with the idea, like, you know, the world that I grew up in, that I mean, you're the same age as me, right? Aren't you about to be 40?
Yeah,
also?
I think you're a couple of months older than I am.
All right.
Yeah.
So like the world that we grew up in doesn't exist anymore.
No.
It hasn't existed for a very long time. The world that Gen X grew up in doesn't exist anymore. No. It hasn't for a very long time. The idea that the world or the or society or anything really should function as it did when you were a kid, just because, like, oh, I remember, you know, like all these people, I remember my dad being able to put a whole family through college. Yeah, that's because a house cost a fucking nickel and some pocket lint.
Right.
And you could work at a fucking a factory making crayons or something.
And these fuckers are literally grandfathered in with their home equities and everything that they they're grandfathered into the American dream that we were promised and never fucking got. Period. I went to college. I graduated with honors. And now I have to worry about somebody in my profession. I mean, I have to worry about AI now, especially because all the amount of AI slop that is just good enough for these motherfuckers, like, that's not going to drive me a lot of fucking clientele. Period.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's kind of the one gripe that I have with AI is how much it has and continues to affect the arts, and not just like graphic design, but any and all kinds of art. I mean, fuck, the amount of AI music that is out there now. And the shitty thing about it is, every now and again, I'll get caught by like a sound on TikTok or something. I'll be like, damn, this shit fucking slaps.
And it's AI.
And then I'll go pull it up, or I'll read the lyrics, and I'm like,
I'll try to find out who wrote it, and it doesn't ever pop up.
Yeah, like this look, because, you know, Chat GPT or whatever AI you're using, there's a form, the way that the responses come to you, like there's a writing style, and if you've seen enough of it, it's really quick and easy to pick up on.
I can check so it's gotten to the point, because I've gotten acquainted with you know, the common AI cadence and shit. Like one thing that I've noticed especially is if somebody says, that's not this, that's vibes, or that's not this, that's this. Like, every time somebody tries to stitch my shit and they use that cadence, I'm like, well, you used AI, didn't you?
Yeah. Couldn't even be bothered to use a couple brain cells of your own. That's why everyone's so goddamn fucking stupid.
Yep.
Because no one now thinks anymore. They're like, I'm going to put it into AI and get an answer for me. I don't have to think, and I'm doing my own research. Problem solved.
Exactly. Well, you want to hard cap it here and take some fucking questions?
Yeah, let's do it. Chat.
Well, yeah, guys, that's if you have any questions for me and Ham, pop them in the chat, and we'll go through them and answer a few questions before we end for the evening.
Also, thank y'all so fucking much for showing up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let us know. Let us know if we could do a little bit better. Let us know if it was fucking awesome. Let us know if we suck ass. We kind of just, you know, like, we had a degree of structure to it coming into it, but we wanted to mainly riff as much as we possibly could and whatnot. If we need more structure, if we need less structure, whatever, just tell us what you think about it. All right, let's go through some of these. Fucking Ken, no joke. My grandmother told me 100 times how he built his house for $400 and a fucking horse. See, that shit's infuriating to me. Jesus fuck. Let's see.
Jill, I have not found $5. Did I tell a really bad story? Damn it. I probably did. Why is Grimm's hair so perfect?
My dude, I don't know. I just got normal hair. I try to shape it well. I don't know if that comes with me being a fucking graphic designer or whatnot. So I pay attention to detail when I'm fucking, like, you know, it's like, oh, well, no, the shape here is all fucked up. But honestly, I need a haircut so bad. It's been a couple of months. I've been trying to grow it out, but I do need to get it cleaned up. I just have not found the time to really fucking do it, period.
I just had to go 3 weeks in between haircuts, and it drove me insane.
Dude, it's driving me nuts right now. Like, a lot of this like my sides and shit are driving me insane. I have to keep brushing them back and whatnot.
Yeah,
And
my
like,
shit gets all poofy out here, and I
I
look
got
like
a
I have an oval
mullet.
on top of my head.
I got a mullet in the back right now. It's fucking driving me insane. I might have the lady fucking, take a pair of clippers to my back. Let's see.
Oh, you got one from Monzi.
Where's Monzi?
Will Grim come to banana time?
You know what? I may. We'll see. I'll have to see where my kid's at right now because I know that it's her bedtime.
That's true.
I've been having a lot of issues with her staying asleep.
I have to pee. I want a snack. I'm thirsty.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, a lot of it is like she'll say like, "Well, my mind is showing me scary things, and so I just can't be alone right now." I'm like, okay.
Oh, here's one. Grinning Shark. How regular is the podcast going to post content, and are y'all going to cover most current events?
So the way we kind of looked at it is, and I mean, we've had this conversation, but I guess we can kind of solidify it here. I was hoping this would be a weekly fucking thing. One episode a week. We can do every Thursday at 8 Eastern and like not be an issue.
That works for me.
When we were coming up with the name of the show, we did want to focus a lot on the political environment and things going on. Granted, you can say everything is inherently political, but in terms of that, I wanted to keep it a little bit more open just in case like we have that fatigue where we didn't really want to fucking talk about politics that day. But we did want to talk about something that pisses us off in pop culture or, how this has changed or, I mean, anything that we can possibly, cover in terms from that perspective, I guess I could say. So yeah, we plan on doing this weekly. Not every episode is going to be politics. I think a lot of it, like kind of like how we did this week, we'll talk about, or we'll make promo videos and we'll say what the topic for that week is going to be. So like, Ham and I will sit down, discuss what topic we want to talk about. And then we'll, let you guys know what it's going to be about. And if that piques your interest, come in. If it doesn't, still fucking come in. We're just going to have a good ass time.
And even today, like we had a general outline guideline that we gave ourselves talking about, the white supremacy and the prevalence of it in media and how it's, just kind of invaded our lives, against all odds.
Right.
But we still, touched on a lot of different topics, and there's going to be some side quests here and there, but I think, for the most part, we'll have a general overarching topic,
right?
And weekly, I think is the move.
Yeah, I mean, if as long as we have the audience for it, man, we'll fucking pump this out as much as we can for sure.
I have a number 2. What is this?
Guard length buzz cut.
Number 2 guard length buzz cut.
Yeah.
Same. Charlotte calls me the same thing whenever I don't cut my hair.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I've been having a lot of fun with it. I mean, the more we talk about it, you can visibly see how angry we are getting, like more and more as we talk about it. But at the same time, I had a fucking blast doing this.
Yeah, same. And that's the thing. Like some of this stuff is for obvious reasons going to be a bit more rage inducing than others. And for the first show, I think we did pretty good. And there's going to be moments of unbridled rage, I'm sure.
Sure.
But for the first run, I had the nervous shits today. It was terrible.
Full fucking transparency, by the way.
It was terrible.
But yeah,
we're gonna get real close.
I wanted it to be entertaining and fun, but at the same time informative. Like at least one person in the chat, at least one viewer, if you've learned something new tonight, that my goal has been fucking met. Period. I had fun doing this, and if somebody learned something that they didn't already know, now granted we did cover everything that I think a lot of the people that I do know in the chat already knew fucking forever ago. But if there's anything like that was new to it, then great.
Hell yeah.
All right. Any more questions?
What we got? Oh, because I said I pooped myself. I didn't poop myself. I just had to poop. Sorry. Nope. You didn't hear that. Nobody clipped that.
Did you eat Raisin Bran?
No, I did not eat Raisin Bran. I learned my lesson. Thank you so much.
He ain't that old yet. When he starts getting into the grape nuts, that's where we're fucking scared. Though we were just talking about recently, like our 40-year-old checkups and whatnot, and how I was like, yeah, I put a hard cap on really starting to give a shit about my health and actually going to checkups at 40. And what is it, July? So in 5 months, I'll be paying more attention to that shit.
Yep.
Oh shit, what was I gonna say?
It's right around the corner.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Trust me, I know. I saw somebody's thing in here. Hold on. So like I said, as long as we have an audience and we do this weekly and whatnot, make sure you guys are following us on the socials, especially the show. Part of the reason why we didn't go live on TikTok and well, IG was a different story, but TikTok was because the show doesn't have enough followers. You have to have a certain amount of followers to be able to go live on
Right.
TikTok. So they won't accept you doing a live stream on TikTok until you hit that deal. So after we, sign off and whatnot, you'll see a graphic up that'll have ways you can follow the show and ways you can follow us individually if you haven't seen our content before and you kind of want a better idea of, who we are, what we stand for, so on and so forth. But yeah, so make sure to follow us there. There's probably going to be more shit coming up soon because Ham and I have been talking about, merch. We've talked about, extra content. We've talked about a few things here and there that we haven't quite, fleshed out yet because we kind of wanted to get the first show off the ground to see if there was even anybody interested in this shit. And now that we kind of know, we can start talking about the other things and we can start doing other things when it comes to that. So make sure you're following us. Check out all the content that we're putting out individually and all that good stuff.
Yeah. And Barry, real quick, there's no plan at the moment to take guest call-ins, but that doesn't mean it won't change.
No, if we first off, I got to figure out how to fucking do that. I mean, unless you know already, you're more of the tech guy. I'm more of the make things look pretty guy. So
I know how to do it.
You know how to do it. So that would be cool. I would love to do calls. That shit's fun to me.
I feel like
I mean, we could shoot ourselves in the foot with that shit too, obviously, because we're gonna have trolls in here.
It could also just be a lot of fun, a little bit of rage bait.
Dude, honestly, a lot of people fucking do come at me a lot, and they're just like, "Hey, man, I want to see you debate. Like, I want to see you tear these motherfuckers down in a debate." I'm like, well, if we have live calls or some shit, I'm down for that. Totally.
Oh yeah, good call, Tasha. That's a good note to categorize it on the Twitch side.
Podcast talk show. I think did I not categorize it? I thought I did, but I can go in there and redo it. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it would be also I'm open to call-ins if for no other reason than because I want so badly to greet a raging right winger, especially if it's a man, with howdy, Mr. Pouty. I want so badly to do it. I haven't found the opportunity. I want so badly to do it. That one's just for me. That's just for me.
Well, that's kind of rude. Feels like Ham is the brains and Grim is the pretty face.
All right, what the hell, Kyle?
I'm smart too, man. Google Voice or Rodecaster. Okay. Thanks for the tip, Ken. Shit.
Ken Sconson. Hey, and for everybody in the chat, Ken Sconson is live on Tuesdays.
Yeah, go check Tuesday Unfiltered with Ken
9 p.m. Eastern, is it?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure it's 9 p.m. Eastern. But
thanks, Tasha, merch idea.
Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, Ken Sconson is live.
Yep. Go check his shit out. And he has guests on his show and like important fucking people. We're just a couple of fucking asshats yelling into the void.
For real. Oh, Ken, speaking of, I shot you a text message about somebody that I don't know if you have the opening or the time or whatever. I don't know how far booked out you are, but I shot you a text for somebody. But yeah, I guess that's it.
I guess that's it. Well, fuck, guys. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to us drone on about angering shit, like just fucking maddening shit. And come back next week. Like I said, we'll probably do this. I will say we will definitely do this on Thursday, unless some act of fucking God happens. We'll probably be doing this next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we'll have the topic probably in the next couple of days, and we'll start putting videos out on it. And then, yeah,
hell yeah.
All right. Well,
All right.
thanks, guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
Have a good night, all. Thanks for chilling.